Hi, I'm John Young, co-founder and director of the Wilderness Awareness School, founded about 10 years ago to foster ongoing, year-round Native re-education. Native re-education is teaching people who have come from other parts of the world and settled here the language of nature as the Native people once knew it. The birds, trees, tracks, some survival skills, lore of the land, things that will help them become better stewards and to help them rehabilitate the land around them. The alien test, which you're going to take as part of this presentation, was designed in the beginning of our school to help people understand what they don't know about the natural environment. Originally, it was more difficult, and no one could pass it. Still, no one passes it today, although it is made up of things that are common, things that you would see on your way to work, things that you see every day in your own neighborhoods. For people from the eastern half of the United States, all the things that are on this test may be familiar to you. I invite you to sit down and take this test and to understand that it's okay to fail this test or not to succeed, not to do as well as you thought you might, because many people do not. The speakers that you're going to hear from in the beginning of this test are Joanne Bird, a native speaker from eastern South Dakota. She's an artist. You're going to hear from Chuck Derby. He's a pipe maker from Minnesota. Ingwe, co-founder of the school, is an expert on the East African tribes. He grew up there in Kenya at the early part of this century. Will Peters is a native Lakota from western South Dakota. Tom Brown Jr. is a well-known author on wilderness subjects and native lore, and is also the founder of the Tracker School. The test itself takes about 15 minutes. Please fill out a piece of paper numbered from 1 to 64 before you begin. Answer what you know, and what you don't know, just leave blank. The answers will follow. Some of them may surprise you. They interest people. Tom Brown will come back again and talk about the condition that we call alienitis. And Jake Swamp, an advisor to the Wilderness Awareness School from the Akwesasne Mohawk Nation, will speak about his people's feelings about the natural world.
Oh, I just think that the people should start developing more spiritually. They have to. Because by people, all their minds in one, it's like, it's strong. It can change the whole environment. But a lot of people have to start thinking that way. Not just a few, because a few can't change it. It has to be a group.
Negative way, because in Indian cultural ways, this was the way we did things. We related with the environment. We didn't try to beat the environment. We lived with it. And if this is a way that the non-Indian people can finally, realize what they're doing to this environment by using spiritual ways and their cultural ways, that's good, because I think that they'll be able to realize what they have done to this Mother Earth, and will take better care of Mother Earth by using
the greatest wisdom to draw us back into the wilderness. They lived in harmony with nature. Let us live in harmony with it. That I say to you, learn to hear voices in the wind. Learn to hear music in mountains, streams, and birdsong. Go to sleep at night under the stars and fall asleep to the call of the whippoorwill or the owl. And dream with the animals, your dream companions. Dreams so vivid, so real, they will not be dreams, they will be visions.
The way we want to evolve socially, I myself don't need to climb no ladder, I'll be happy to see my children grow. I'll be happy to see my grandchildren. But I want them to see a tree, and I want them to smell that earth. This earth is alive, and you can feel it.
We hear of all of this thing like Earth is Mother, the trees, the plants, the birds, the animals in general are our brothers and sisters. People can articulate that here, but they cannot know it here. Mainly because they've never taken off of their clothes and walked into the wilderness and said, "Mama, take me."
Question number 1. What was that bird you were just listening to? You hear it everywhere around suburbia. Question number 2. Could this have been taken in New Jersey, New York, or Pennsylvania? Really look at it. Number 3. This bird we see everywhere when we drive along in our cars if we happen to be looking out the window. What is this bird? Number 5. What was that call? Number 6. Who are these guys? Number 7. What do you think these are soaring above? Number 8. Have you ever seen this flower before? I hope so. What is it? Have a close look at this little creature. Who is this? Number 9. Number 10. Ignoring those bird calls, what are those banjo-like calls in the background? Number 11. What is this very common plant seen here in a city alley? Number 12. Growing right by it as it always does. What is this common plant? Number 12. At night, you'll hear this call. What is this? Number 13. Number 14. Who's this very common bird? Often seen. Number 15. Those are blades of grass for comparison. What is this plant? Number 16. The soft needles of this tree blow in the wind. What is this very common tree? Number 17. Whose voice is this, heard in everyone's yard? Number 18. What's this common flower? Number 19. This is a very common bird. What's it called? Number 20. Have you ever heard this before? What is it? Number 21. What's this common woodland plant? Number 22. In the moist forest, this is commonly seen. What's this called? Number 23. Whose voice is this? Number 24. A 6-inch ruler for comparison. Who left these tracks? Number 25. What's this called? This vine growing on this tree. Number 26. Whose tracks are these? About 1.5 inches wide, 6 inches apart. And number 27. A wider view of the same scene will show us some other tracks. Whose are these, coming from the top of the screen and down on both the left and right side? Number 28. That's a common call. Whose is that? Number 29. Another regular visitor to our backyards. Who is this? Number 29. Number 30. What's this common forest tree called? Number 31. Again, a 6-inch ruler to show these tracks 13 inches apart in the snow. Who could this be? "32. This tree, flowering in February. What's this tree called?" "33. Who's this common bird?" And number 34, what's the name of the tree that he's sitting on? Number 34. Number 35. Whose voice is that? Number 36. Whose tracks are these in the mud? Number 37. What is this very common berry in the autumn? Number 37. Number 38. A rather unlikely thing to be asked about. What is this? Number 38. Number 39. These berries ripen in the fall and stay through the winter. What is this plant? Number 40. Whose tracks are these in the mud? Number 40. Number 41. Whose beautiful voice is this, singing from the forest behind your home? Number 42. These strange white berries, again in the autumn. What plant is this? Number 42. Number 43. Common in April, a scene like this in the moist forest. These little opposite paired leaves. What is this plant? Number 44. This plant has green twigs, even in winter. What is this plant? Number 45. In the summer we hear that loud, deep voice call in the evenings. Who is that? "46. Whose tracks are these? And number 47, looking again, whose tracks are these near the top of the screen? Number 48, whose call is this, often heard from the treetops? Number 48. Number 49. What's this common vine, green through the winter? Number 49. Number 50. What's this strange, fuzzy mass on the tree? Number 50. Number 51. What is this strange track near the center of the screen? Number 52. Uh-oh, what's this? Number 53, in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, what is this plant? Number 53 with the rounded edges. Number 54, what is this call? Commonly heard all over the Northeast in the summertime. Number 54. Number 55, what's this strange plant with the fuzzy leaves? And number 56, what is this common tree with very large leaves that smell like peanut butter? It's seen growing along parking lots, along highways. It's seen virtually everywhere, a very common tree. Number 57. What is this bird on the side of this dogwood tree? Commonly seen in suburbia. Number 57. Number 58. Who are these guys calling in the early spring? Number 59. Here's a spring shot. What is this plant? 59. And number 60. Who is this? Number 61. Look closely at these four-legged little wormy-like things, slimy, fresh from under a log. Who are they? 61. Number 62. Holding its seeds through the winter. This tall tree grows very quickly, a very common tree. What's it called? Number 63. The opposite branches and bulbous buds give this tree away. What is this very common tree? Number 64, and the last question. Who is this? You've been hearing the call of the mockingbird. That bird is a great teacher. It tells you whether or not you know the bird calls of your area. If you listen to his song, every 3 seconds he changes to another species, or another call of the same species. The answer to number 1 was the mockingbird. Number 2, this shot was taken in Idaho. Some people know more about Idaho wildlife, such as grizzly bears, than they do about New Jersey, or Pennsylvania, or New York. Number 3, this is a great blue heron, a common roadside bird along interstates that have water alongside of them. And number 4, these two birds are starlings, of course, and they are the most common bird around anymore. You could see hundreds of them any day. That's the call of the red-tailed hawk, number 5, symbol of inspiration. Number 6, these are deer ticks, a male and a female. The female is the larger tick on the left. Number 7, these are ring-billed gulls soaring over a parking lot, very common sight throughout the Northeast where there's water. Number 8, this is Japanese honeysuckle. The white flowers have gone to replace the native honeysuckle, which had red flowers and fed the hummingbirds. Number 9, this is a chipmunk. The eastern chipmunk's voice tells us when there's danger moving through the forest. He calls out. The call of the green frog can be heard in the background, like the plunking of a banjo, the most common frog in the Northeast. Number 11, the dandelion green, a super great source of potassium and vitamins, and growing by its side is the common plantain, useful as a folk remedy in many places. Number 12. Number 13, hear the voice of the great horned owl, a common owl in suburbia. Number 14, this is the mourning dove. Common in suburbia, this bird makes funny little noises as he flies away. Whistling flight quills are the cause. Number 15, this flower is called the chickweed. It's a delicious wild edible that's also very nutritious. Number 16, the white pine tree has long symbolized peace. It's also a wonderful tea. Number 17, the voice of the American robin calling out from everyone's yard where natural lawn care is still used. Number 18, of course, the dandelion flower, very easily recognized. Number 19, meet the tufted titmouse. Number 20, the voice of spring, the spring peeper, calling from a marsh somewhere in the month of March. Number 21, this is the common wood sorrel. Leaves taste like lemon. Number 22, this plant called skunk cabbage is not really a cabbage, so don't eat it because you'll burn yourself. Number 23, often mistaken for an owl, this is the call of the mourning dove. Number 24, these are the tracks of a common cottontail rabbit. Number 25, this red hairy vine growing on the side of this locust tree is none other than poison ivy. Watch out. Number 26, these are the tracks of a common white-footed mouse hopping across the sandy edge of a parking lot at about 1.5 inches wide and 6 inches apart. We back away from this slide and have a look. The tracks of the common starling begin at the top of the screen and move down on the left and on the right. The most common bird, the starling. Number 27. The voice of the downy woodpecker, number 28, calls out from a suburban bush here. Number 29. The chickadee visits our feeder. There are 2 kinds in the Northeast, the blackcap and the Carolina. Number 29. Number 30. The hemlock tree is a wonderful source of tinder for starting fires when camping in the mountains. The leaves make a nice tea. 31. These tracks in the snow belong to the red fox, a common fox in suburbia and farmlands, sometimes living in cities. Number 32. The silver maple tree blooms as early as February. Here are its red blossoms. And number 33, this is the mockingbird, whose voice fills suburban backyards everywhere. He's sitting on number 34, which is the black locust tree, an excellent firewood that burns very hot and clean. Number 35, the voice of the fowler's toad, calls out from many a temporary pool through the summer. Number 36, these tracks belong to the muskrat, leaving the stream and climbing the bank, number 36. Number 37, this is a staghorn sumac. Sumac would be a good answer. The berries are rich in vitamin C and very tart. And number 38, they may look edible but don't eat them. These are deer droppings, to be told from rabbit droppings by their pill shape as opposed to the round shape. Number 39, these are rose hips, rich in vitamin C and often incorporated into teas today from the multiflora common rose. Number 40, these are raccoon tracks in the mud. You can see that C shape in the palm. Number 40. Number 41, the stirring voice of a wood thrush, calls from the thicket behind our home. Number 42, another shot of poison ivy, showing its white berries in the autumn, often mistaken. Number 43, the cure for poison ivy, jewelweed, growing here in April, a very common woodland plant. Number 44, the sassafras tree, was once the main flavoring for root beers. The twigs are still very useful today for starting fires in the rain. Number 45, the voice of the bullfrog calls from the pond. Number 45. Number 46, we're looking at the tracks of a red fox, taken here on a suburban campus. And number 47, to the left, we see the tracks of the gray squirrel, a very common scene in the sandy roads in suburbia. Number 47. Number 48, the voice of the crested flycatcher calls from the treetops, a voice often heard, but a bird not often seen. Number 49, again, the Japanese honeysuckle. Important food for deer. This has run out our native honeysuckle that used to feed the hummingbirds. 49. Number 50, here's the gypsy moth egg mass. Another invader from another country has done a lot of damage to our oak trees in this country, the gypsy moth. Number 51, this is a deer track. Its heart shape lets you know that. It's traveling downward. 51. 52, this could either be a bald-faced hornet or a yellow jacket's nest. Better stay away. Number 53, this is the jewelweed in the lower left-hand corner, seen again here, its rounded lobes visible in its white midrib. Jewelweed, the antidote for poison ivy. Number 54, that's the voice of the peewee. Peewee. Number 55, this plant is called mullein, otherwise known as hunter's toilet paper. Number 56, this tree is called the ailanthus tree. It's also called the tree of heaven. An immigrant from the Orient, this tree has spread like a wildfire across the Northeast. A very common roadside tree. Number 56. And number 57, let's zoom in on a downy woodpecker. Number 57, sitting on a dogwood tree. 58, the voice of the wood frog is no longer heard in many areas where it once was common. It seems to be disappearing. 58. 59, this is poison ivy. I hope you recognize it by now. Many people don't still and burn it in their fires. Dangerous rashes result. Number 60, common box turtle, a symbol of Mother Earth to many of the native tribes of the Northeast. And number 61, let's have a look at redback and leadback salamanders found under logs in the Northeast, also disappearing like the frogs. 61. Number 62, this is a tulip tree, a fast-growing softwood tree, although it's called a hardwood, was once used to make dugout canoes. Number 62, the branches blow off in storms, so watch out. Number 63, the flowering dogwood, seen here growing on a suburban lawn, is now dying from a blight that's striking the Northeast. Number 63. And number 64, the final question, this bird is a cardinal. How did you do?
They do not know how to survive. They do not know how to flourish in a survival situation. They cannot speak to the trees. They cannot read the signature of animals on the landscape. They have no concept of living with the earth. and I just simply call them aliens. We're surrounded by them. That's one of the main problems with society today in trying to improve, clean up, preserve the environment. They have no conscious connection to it.
To speak to the earth and say thank you. We don't have to ask for anything. We just say thank you and everything is provided. We don't even have to ask, because that's the instruction from the beginning of time. As long as we are thankful, everything will always be provided. That's what they call the circle of life. In order for that circle of life to continue always, then we need to be thankful, and everything will be fulfilled.